this intruder out now! This is a mistake. I am the guest of honor.
The chandelier lights of the Waldorf Astoria's grand ballroom glittered like 1,000 stars, casting a warm glow over the sea of tuxedos and evening gowns. It was the annual Harrington Foundation Gala, an event where New York's wealthiest gathered to bid on priceless art and jewelry, all in the name of supporting medical research. Plates cost $75,000 each, and the air buzzed with the kind of polite conversation that masked deals worth millions. But on this crisp autumn evening in 2025, no one could have predicted that a single act of unchecked rage would unravel a dynasty built on generations of privilege. Elizabeth Harrington, the 24-year-old heiress to the Harrington fortune, stood at the center of it all, her emerald gown hugging her figure like a second skin. Her platinum blonde hair was pinned with a sapphire tiara worth more than most people's homes, and her fingers sparkled with antique rings passed down from her great-grandmother. Elizabeth had grown up in the lap of luxury private jets to the Hamptons, summers in the Berkshires, and a trust fund that ensured she never heard the word no. Tonight, she was hosting the auction, her father's pride and joy, and she reveled in the attention. Across the room, Dr. Sophia Reynolds moved gracefully through the crowd. At 45, Sophia was a picture of quiet elegance in her tailored black sheath dress from a Fifth Avenue boutique. Her pearl necklace was a family heirloom, simple yet meaningful, a gift from her late mother who'd worked 2 jobs to put her through college. Sophia was no stranger to high society. As the chief of pediatric oncology at New York Presbyterian Hospital, she'd saved countless lives and earned accolades from presidents and philanthropists alike. But tonight, she was here as the guest of honor, set to announce a $60 million donation to fund cancer treatments for underprivileged children. The trouble started innocently enough. Sophia, carrying a glass of sparkling water, turned suddenly to avoid a waiter and brushed against Elizabeth's arm. A few drops splashed onto Elizabeth's gown. In that instant, something snapped in the young heiress. Her face twisted with fury, and before anyone could react, she swung her hand, her rings slicing across Sophia's cheek like knives. The slap rang out like a thunderclap, drawing every eye in the room. Red wine from Elizabeth's own glass followed, drenching Sophia's dress and shattering on the polished oak floor in a spray of shards. "Get this street trash out of here before she ruins everything," Elizabeth snarled, her voice dripping with venom. She pressed her designer heel into the broken glass, grinding it into Sophia's hand as the doctor knelt to steady herself. Blood welled up, mixing with the wine on the floor. "Stay down where you belong, you animal." The words hung in the air, laced with a hatred that shocked even the most jaded attendees. 400 guest bankers from Wall Street, senators from D.C., celebrities from Hollywood stood frozen, their champagne flutes midway to their lips. Sophia lifted her head, blood trickling from her cut lip onto the gold band of her medical school ring from Yale. She'd worn it through endless nights in the OR, saving children from the brink of death. This wasn't her first encounter with prejudice, but the raw cruelty stung deeper than the wounds. Have you ever seen evil disguised as elegance? Elizabeth stepped back, admiring her work as if it were a masterpiece. "Did everyone see that? I just stopped a thief trying to sabotage our auction," she declared, her tone triumphant. "Security should have caught her at the door, but I guess I had to step in." Hotel security hesitated, their radios crackling with confusion. Meanwhile, fashion influencer Emily Dawson, tucked behind a pillar, had her phone out, live-streaming to her modest following. "I'm at the Harrington Gala, and this looks like a hate-fueled attack," she whispered. Views climbed. 50, 100, 200. Comments flooded in. "Call the cops. That's assault." Elizabeth, oblivious, kicked shards toward Sophia. "She's probably here to pocket the silver or bid with stolen cards." "I saved us all." Sophia's phone, cracked but working, showed 9:45 p.m. 15 minutes until her speech. The irony burned. Elizabeth was supposed to introduce her. Veteran photographer Daniel Brooks lowered his camera, torn between loyalty to the Harringtons who funded half the city's arts and the truth in his lens. Socialite Margaret Ellis clutched her diamonds, horrified but silent, crossing the Harringtons' mint exile from the Upper East Side Circuit. Elizabeth, Maybe we should. Margaret started. Should what? Let intruders like her pollute our event. Elizabeth spat, grabbing Sophia's purse and dumping it out. Medical degrees scattered. Yale MD, Stanford Fellowship, Nobel nomination letters. Fake papers. She's pretending to be a doctor. Emily's stream exploded. 500 views, 700, 1,000. Sophia gathered her documents with the calm of someone who'd faced worse in emergency rooms. Each paper represented triumphs. Yale valedictorian for 1,000 successful treatments, the Congressional Gold Medal. Elizabeth's heel came down on Sophia's fingers, cracking bones with a sickening snap. Whoops, she giggled. My bad. Sophia stifled a cry, diagnosing the fractures herself. Margaret gasped. You broke her hand. I stepped on junk from a fraud. No big deal, Elizabeth retorted. Security Chief Michael O'Connor approached warily. He'd seen entitlement, but this was vicious. Ms. Harrington, perhaps, throw this garbage out the back, Elizabeth ordered. Don't let her near real guests. Sophia's phone buzzed. A missed call from Richard Harrington, Elizabeth's father, rushing through traffic to introduce her. Emily's stream hit 2,000 views, Harrington horror trending. Elizabeth, heir to a $3 billion empire of hospitals and grants, stood proud, unaware her bigotry was going viral. Clean this up, she commanded staff, waving at Sophia like refuse. Who knows what she's carrying? Filth from the streets. Sophia clutched her ring, remembering a rainy night 18 years ago when she'd saved a terrified 6-year-old girl named Elizabeth Harrington from a burst tumor. That child had hugged her, promising to help others someday. Now, that promise lay shattered on the floor. 9:52 p.m. 8 minutes to go. Elizabeth demanded more wine, stepping over Sophia's credentials. Emily's views soared. 3,000 for 1,000. Comments raged. This is racism. Sue her. 3 friends circled Elizabeth like shields. You were so brave, cooed Lauren Whitaker. These types are invading our world. Sophia rose, pain shooting through her hand. Staff mopped around her, avoiding eye contact, trained to serve power, not the powerless. Finance analyst Thomas Lee, arriving late, saw the scene and boomed. This is a federal hate crime, live to 5,000 viewers. Get your lawyers ready. Elizabeth paused her sip. Hate crime? I defended us from a danger. You called her trash, animal, broke her bones. Textbook case. Thomas shot back. The room shifted. Guests checked phones, seeing their names in reports. Elizabeth doubled down. She's diseased, cancer, AIDS, whatever. I protected you all. The slander hit Sophia hard. She'd cured diseases, not spread them. Daniel uploaded his photos. Rings cutting flesh, heel on fingers, spit flying. Shares, 1,000 in minutes. Elizabeth's notifications blew up. Horror, not praise. What's this? She demanded. You're viral for evil, Thomas said. Sophia collected her papers. Yale honors, Stanford innovations, for 1,000 lives saved, including Elizabeth's on September 12, 2007. Security stalled as hotel brass whispered about lost revenue versus lawsuits. Daddy will fix this. Elizabeth dialed Richard, voicemail. Some intruder wrecked the gala. I handled her, but she's still here. Call back. 9:55 p.m. 5 minutes. Phones lit up the room like stars, capturing every angle. Elizabeth checked her Rolex. Almost time for Daddy's intro to our proper speaker. Sophia cradled her bag, holding notes on child cancer rates and photos of saved kittens who'd never lived if Elizabeth had died that night. The doors burst open. Richard Harrington stormed in, tie askew, sweat on his brow. The 68-year-old tycoon, builder of clinics from Boston to L.A., froze at the sight. Sophia amid ruins, blood on wood, his daughter triumphant. What the hell happened? His voice boomed, a man used to boardrooms, but shaken now. Daddy, I saved the event from this thief. Elizabeth beamed, pointing at Sophia like a trophy. Richard's eyes scanned. Bloodied gown, scattered degrees, broken glass. His face paled. Elizabeth, he whispered. Do you know who she is? Some lowlife climber. Cheap clothes, fake docs. I'll have her arrested. Richard's world crumbled. This is Dr. Sophia Reynolds, head of pediatric oncology at New York Presbyterian. Our keynote, donating $60 million tonight. The room gasped. Emily's stream, 50,000 views. Elizabeth's glass shattered. Impossible. She's not like us. She's the top oncologist in the nation, Richard thundered. Saved 4,000 kids, won the gold medal, published 80 papers. He knelt by Sophia, ignoring stains. Sophia, what did she do? Hello, Richard. A mix-up with your daughter, Sophia said calmly. Elizabeth reeled. No, she's black. She can't be, the racism exposed, raw and ugly. Richard helped Sophia up. Ladies and gentlemen, meet medical genius Dr. Reynolds, revolutionizing cancer care. And my daughter assaulted her live to 70,000 viewers. Photos viral. Harrington assault, trending worldwide. Stocks tanked. Donors fled. But Richard pressed on. Elizabeth, Dr. Reynolds didn't just save thousands. She saved you. Elizabeth blanched. September 12, 2007, 3 a.m., Mount Sinai. You were 6, tumor ruptured, sepsis raging. Doctors gave up. One didn't. Sophia operated 8 hours, held your failing organs. Elizabeth collapsed. Sophia pulled a photo. Young Elizabeth hugging her savior. Crayon thank you note. I want to be like you. The betrayal hit like a wave. Richard's phone rang with crises. Sophia, how do we fix this? Sophia, ever strategic, pulled her tablet. Harrington assets, $3 billion. Donations, $500 million yearly. Controls 40% of hospital boards, 1,000 projects. Views, 100,000. Donors pulled $30 million, $20 million. Legal, hate crime, assault 10-25 years for Elizabeth. Racial motive adds federal time. Richard clutched his chest. Sophia offered options. 1. Prosecution. Prison for Elizabeth. Foundation dissolved. 2. Reform. Diversity chief. Audits. $15 million victim fund. 3. Transformation. Elizabeth out. 60% diverse board. $30 million penalty. Choose or lose the donation, Sophia said. Richard signed for transformation, saving the foundation but yielding control. Sophia announced, Elizabeth removed, trust frozen. 500 hours service in my ward. The irony, Elizabeth cleaning for kids she'd demeaned. Sophia's donation funded the Elizabeth Harrington Renewal Center for Child Cancer Care. Elizabeth sobbed, I'm sorry. I didn't know. Change proves it, Sophia replied. 2 years later, the Waldorf hosted again. Reforms spread to 1,000 charities. Discrimination down 90%. Diverse hires up 400%. Sophia, now health secretary under President Heiress, authored Curing Prejudice. Elizabeth, transformed by service, entered med school, whispering to a saved child, Dr. Reynolds saved us both. The Harringtons' legacy endured, rebuilt on justice. What do you think about violence and injustice in everyday life? Share your opinions in the comments. Take a stand on how we can fight back and express your views. Your story might inspire change.